In 2026, something measurable is happening to millions of people, that almost nobody is connecting to anything larger than their own individual circumstances. Record numbers of people across every demographic are reporting anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and what researchers have started calling decision fatigue, the depletion of the brain's capacity to make choices after sustained overload. Here's what makes this genuinely strange. It's not concentrated in one country, one profession, one age group, or one economic class. It's happening across populations that have no meaningful connection to each other. The explanations offered, digital overload, economic uncertainty, information saturation, are real and measurable. They explain the mechanism. They do not explain the timing. Why this convergence of exhaustion now, across millions of unconnected people, at a scale that 2026 data is only beginning to fully document? Here is what almost nobody covering this phenomenon mentions: 4 ancient civilizations with zero historical contact with each other, independently developed frameworks that describe almost exactly this kind of moment. Today, we decode the science. Then we decode what 4 traditions, separated by oceans and millennia, somehow all predicted. Chapter 1. 4 Traditions, 1 Map. Vedic Yuga Theory, Ancient India. Vedic cosmology describes time moving through cycles called yugas, vast ages, each with its own defining qualities. The current age, according to this framework, is Kali Yuga, characterized by spiritual forgetting, fragmentation, and exhaustion of established patterns. Crucially, Vedic texts describe transitions between yugas as periods of intense collective upheaval, the old age's patterns becoming completely exhausted before a new age's patterns can take root. This isn't described as catastrophe. It's described as a necessary, if difficult, threshold. Hopi prophecy, Indigenous North America. Hopi oral tradition describes a period called the time of purification, a phase where humanity's relationship to itself, to each other, and to the earth undergoes forced realignment. Traditional accounts describe this period as marked by widespread confusion, exhaustion, and a collective sense that old ways of living are no longer sustainable, preceding a period of renewal. I Ching, Ancient China. The I Ching contains the concept of Wei Ji, frequently mistranslated in the West as simply crisis, but more precisely understood as the inseparable combination of danger and opportunity. The philosophy holds that moments of greatest collective difficulty are structurally identical to moments of greatest collective potential, not sequential, simultaneous. Mayan cosmology, Mesoamerica. Mayan cosmological systems tracked specific cosmic cycles with extraordinary mathematical precision, mapping the ending of one age and the beginning of another at calculated thresholds. These transitions were understood not as endpoints, but as necessary completions, the closing of one pattern creating the structural space for the next. 4 civilizations, 4 continents, 0 documented contact, 1 converging description, a threshold where an old pattern's exhaustion is the necessary precursor to something new. Chapter 2. The neuroscience of collective exhaustion. Decision fatigue is a well-documented phenomenon at the individual level. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive function, planning, and choice, operates with finite resources. Each decision, regardless of size, draws from this limited capacity. In 2026, the sheer volume of daily decisions has reached unprecedented levels. Constant notifications, algorithmic content requiring continuous judgment, economic volatility demanding ongoing reassessment, and the collapse of clear boundaries between work and personal life have combined to create sustained population-level prefrontal cortex depletion. This depletion manifests as irritability, procrastination, emotional withdrawal, and the specific quality of exhaustion that doesn't resolve with normal rest, because the depletion is continuous, not episodic. What's genuinely significant, this isn't confined to people facing unusual hardship. It's documented across people living what would traditionally be considered stable, even comfortable circumstances. The mechanism is real and measurable, but mechanism alone doesn't explain convergent timing across unconnected copulations, the same way understanding how a wave forms doesn't fully explain why multiple separate oceans might produce similar wave patterns at the same time. Something is creating synchrony at a scale that current models describe the symptoms of, without fully accounting for the timing of. Chapter 3. Why this can't be coincidence. Skeptics rightly point out that ancient traditions describing difficult transitional periods isn't remarkable. Nearly every culture has language for hard times. But the specificity here deserves attention. These aren't vague warnings about general difficulty. Each tradition describes a structurally similar pattern, and old patterns complete exhaustion as a necessary precondition for a new pattern to emerge, not despite the exhaustion, but through it. This is structurally different from generic hard times will come folklore. It's a specific mechanical claim about how transition works, made independently across cultures with no contact, using completely different cosmological vocabularies. The honest scientific position is this: we cannot currently explain why this convergence exists. We can observe that it does. The gap between observable convergence and explainable mechanism is exactly where genuine mystery lives, not mysticism and avoid scrutiny, but a real unanswered question that rigorous inquiry hasn't resolved. What we can say with confidence, if you are experiencing this exhaustion right now, you are not anomalous. You are not failing at managing modern life more poorly than others. You are part of a documented, measurable, population-level phenomenon that multiple independent traditions described in their own language long before population-level measurement existed. Chapter 4. The Threshold Protocol. 5 steps for moving through a collective threshold as an individual. Step 1. Name the scale correctly. Stop interpreting this exhaustion as evidence of personal inadequacy. Name it as what the data suggests it actually is: a collective, measurable, population-level phenomenon. The naming itself reduces the additional burden of self-blame layered on top of genuine fatigue. Step 2. Reduce decision load deliberately. Identify 3 small daily decisions you can eliminate or automate: what to wear, what to eat for a specific meal, which route to take. Each removed decision preserves prefrontal cortex capacity for decisions that actually matter. Step 3. Practice selective disconnection. Choose specific windows, not indefinite withdrawal, to disconnect from inputs requiring constant judgment: news, social media, group chats. The Hopi framework suggests purification requires genuine periods of reduced input, not constant exposure. Step 4. Trust the way G. When you notice old patterns, relationships, or structures in your life becoming exhausted, resist the urge to immediately rebuild what's dissolving. The I Ching's wisdom suggests the crisis and the opportunity are inseparable. Rushing to resolve the crisis often forecloses the opportunity. Step 5. Track what wants to emerge. Once a day, ask not, "How do I fix this exhaustion?" but "What is this exhaustion clearing space for?" Keep brief notes. Patterns in what genuinely interest you, even faintly during this threshold period, often point toward what's forming on the other side of it. 4 civilizations that never met each other looked at the nature of collective transition and arrived at remarkably similar conclusions, using entirely different language, symbols, and cosmological frameworks. 2026 data is now measuring, with unprecedented precision, exactly the kind of moment these traditions described. We can measure the exhaustion. We cannot fully explain the convergence of prediction and timing. That gap between what we can measure and what we can explain is not a failure of science. It is an honest acknowledgement of how much remains genuinely unknown about how collective consciousness, if such a thing meaningfully exists, actually operates across time and culture. If you are exhausted right now, you are not failing at something everyone else is succeeding at. You are standing alongside millions of others at a threshold that 4 independent civilizations, separated by oceans and millennia, all said someone eventually would. Drop threshold in the comments if this reframes something for you. Next week, the specific practices each of these 4 traditions recommended for moving through this exact kind of transition and what they share in common. Subscribe. New decoded consciousness content every week. You are the architect of your own frequency.